add them to the call. But I'm so excited. We're kicking off our fall calls. Can y'all hear me okay? I've got my AirPods.
Yeah.
Cool. But no, I've missed you guys, even though I see a lot of you for various reasons, but I really love these calls just to have a team-wide meetup and a catch up. And there are obviously a lot of really great things going on this month, starting next week with Summit. And I hope all of you guys, I know some of you are going to be there. I'm so excited about meeting a few of you for the first time, but I really encourage you to watch it. And it is good to, if you purchase the online virtual platform to watch it, try to do it during the weekend, because one, I do feel like people who don't do it that weekend, they often forget about having it to watch, and they may or may not watch it. I'm just saying that sometimes happens. And then it's so cool because you are getting to see all the things we're seeing. You're getting to see all the new releases, sneak peeks, anything they announce. They did announce things like Australia last year, so it's typically big things. I would imagine they are making the website live. I mean, if they don't, I'm going to be completely shocked, like completely. I just can't even fathom it, because I got to sneak peek it last year at Summit. So the fact that it's not relaunched yet is crazy. So that better be going on. But yeah, it's just really good. So I encourage all of you that have it to watch it. If you don't have your ticket yet, you can get it. They do mail you your items, and they should be coming soon, I would imagine. Those of us who go will actually get them on site. So it's awesome. It's just such a great time. I know Zyia has got a lot of exciting things planned. So hopefully you all are going to be a part of that. And then next month, we are going to have one of the developers of the Zyia app. This is something, again, they might be announcing during Summit about what's going on with the app, any new things with the app. But another Zyia rep I met during our Hawaii trip talked about this guy and how amazing it was, and all the features and all the things that the app does do that I have no idea it does. So I've scheduled him for our team call in October, which is the second Tuesday of the month. So that should be fantastic. And then I am working on the rest of the year. So if any of you do have any ideas for speakers that you want to hear, let me know, because I'd love to include them. And y'all just keep going. Y'all are just blowing me away. I love this team so much. I love it's been really a great year to see just the dedication. And we had a bigger team, but I really and truly love having a team of people who are dedicated and passionate and who are in it. Like, some of us have been doing this for a long time now together, and it's just, I don't know, that just fills my heart so much more. So I've said this to a couple of people. I feel like my field was kind of burnt down, but that is okay, because all the awesome flowers stayed, and we're just going to get bigger and stronger and build more of a beautiful garden together. So I am pumped and can't wait to keep building this with you. And I'm just super proud of all of you guys for all of your dedication and hard work on this journey of the last year. So with that said, Reels is definitely a great thing to be doing. And I know a lot of you are starting to do them. I've seen so many of you do them. And I know that's because some of you did a little mini training with Raebecca earlier. But when I think about Reels and Instagram and everything going on, I definitely think about Raebecca. She does such a great job. She's very consistent. I think she's found her voice and just has really developed a great, unified message that she shares. So of course, when I thought about this topic, I was like, we have to get her to share all of the wonderful things. So I'm going to shut up and let her go. If you don't know her, she's on our team. She's amazing. She had a party with me. It's been over a year, right?
February of last year was my first party.
For her party rocked it out, y'all. She did all the things. She was posting, she was getting people to buy. She was like, the whole time I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl has got to be a rep. But to take her a while to finally say yes. I was always touching base with her, reaching it, but we literally live a couple of neighborhoods away. So it's really, really fun. She's such a wonderful spirit. And I'm going to let her share all the great things with us tonight about Reels. Let's take it away, girl.
Two things. I joked with the girls who I sort of tested this out on, the women I tested this out on, and technology is like not my thing. So I'm just gonna say, like, Pretty Woman style. This is the fork I know, and the rest of this stuff is not the fork I know.
You know this works so well. You do so good.
Like, and it's okay to hold on to that one thing, but like, this is the fork I know. So if for some reason I mess up our Zoom, I'm so sorry in advance. And then also, I really try to start like foundationally. So I can almost promise we're not going to get this done in 30 minutes. But what I can tell you is I'm not going to skip like from soil to grass to all the way through to the growth process. I'm going to take you all the way back to the beginning so that you aren't left like wondering how we even got to where I started you. I don't want you to feel that way. I think reels are amazing. I think they're a great way to grow your audience. I know in the past we've used things like chambers of commerce or golf outings or different ways that you met up in women's groups or whatever, and COVID changed the nature of that. Reels have only been around since 2019. So it's still fairly new to everybody and it's only growing. And like I said, it's an incredible way to impact your audience outside of just your friends and family and their immediate network. Because you know how hard it is to book a party or to do whatever when you're still swimming in the same pond. So this opens that door as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to share my screen, which means I won't be able to see you as well. So you'll just have to like pipe up if you want, and I'll go back to where I can see you and interact. Because I'm definitely one of those people that uses body language and I like to be able to communicate. So this part's hard for me. Here we go. Oh, and I'm a Shania Twain fan. I don't know if you guys have watched her Netflix, but if you haven't, her documentary, it's amazing. So I just wrote, let's go girls for fun. And where's my thing? See, I told you it's not the fork I know. Why? So I just wanted to give a brief background because I think a lot of times with reels, people are super intimidated by it. They don't understand the value of it. And I think it's important to sort of paint that picture in order for you guys to have like a full-hearted investment. So I'm just going to give you a few brief stats. Instagram is still among the most downloaded apps, day over day, week over week, one of the top. In fact, last year in Q4, it actually surpassed TikTok in downloads. And I think that's really important. 87% of Gen Z view Reels and TikTok as basically the same. That's their terminology. So they go back and forth between the two platforms. This is actually great news for marketing because Instagram, and I'll show you the why, has significantly more capabilities for shopping, linking, advertising, and marketing. They're not available on TikTok. Think about things like in your stories on Instagram, you can actually put a direct link in there to a pair of leggings, a sports bra. You can put it to just your general website. You can put it to a kit. You could put it to something that you bought on Amazon. That ability for a one-click shop for any user who's looking at you is really important. That's not necessarily a capability yet for TikTok. And Reels receive 22% more engagement than regular Instagram video posts. The other thing that's really interesting, if you look at these two pictures side by side, Instagram Reels allow for 8% more screen real estate compared to TikTok. You see that like little bar up the right side on the TikTok, that's the right picture. The TikTok engagement bar to the right side takes up significant real estate, while the Instagram engagement bar is located at the bottom of the reel. It's just basics, but it is interesting to think about. 61% of Gen Z TikTok users plan to spend more time on Reels in the future. And one quick note, which I think is important, if you're creating on both, which I know some of you plan to because TikTok only continues to grow and visibility is really important on any platform. The TikTok watermark, which I can show you a picture of later, but it adds itself to anything that you create on TikTok. It's right at sort of the bottom right-hand corner of anything you create. When you bring something from TikTok to Instagram, Instagram automatically lowers your visibility because you're bringing a third-party brand over into the Instagram social media. You're best off creating on Instagram and then moving it to TikTok because it's really easy to upload and Instagram doesn't necessarily do that. And then letting the watermark be a secondary feature, just as an FYI. It's very easy to repost to TikTok if you create on Instagram. There is also a thing called the Reels bonus program. Instagram will actually pay you to create content for their app. The bonus program pays on average $400,000 to $36,000 a month to content creators. This is a real thing. I know more than a few people in this program. It varies from month to month, and it actually can be fairly chaotic. It was a new program that they rolled out at the beginning of the year. The only thing you have to do to qualify for that, actually, there's two things. You have to mark yourself as a content creator, which just means you're giving Instagram the ability to decide that you, in fact, are creating for them specifically. And you have to be consistent. So the Instagram algorithm keeps track of how much you create and how much you sort of focus on your niche. It's very simple. As long as you're yourself and you focus on what's really important to you, you'll stay true to yourself. You won't get chaotic. But there is actually monetary value. There's money to be had in being a Reels creator. Home base. I'm starting right at the beginning. There's my profile from Instagram. If you can see my arrow right here is the profile grid that you're on. This is your main Instagram grid, your profile. Up here, you have your settings. This is important because inside of your settings is all of your privacy info, your account info, but there's also a couple really cool things inside settings. If you save a post, or if you save audio, or if you save a reel so that you can do it or mimic it or use their content, that's where it's going to be hidden. Also inside of settings is a unique QR code directly to your Instagram. It's a great way, instead of telling people your Instagram name or sending them a screenshot of your profile or trying to figure it out just based on first name, last name, you can send them the QR code, or you can even put it on your business cards. It's a unique feature. It's newer, but it is inside your settings. So just FYI. Next to that is your actual create button. This is where you're going to create reels, posts, stories, story highlights. You can even go live from here. I'm just going to check on you guys. So I got everybody. Does anyone have a question? Stephanie. Okay, just checking.
I was going to say, I did post the two places in this chat that take out the watermarks. There's one for Instagram. There's one for TikTok. So they're in the chat.
Perfect. Because and I put in the little asterisks that there are apps that will absolutely remove it. It's just one of those things. You're better off if you want to have the visibility, you might as well take the time to take it off before you upload it to the other social media setting, because they do pay attention to it. Sorry, I'll go back to share. I get sad when I can't see your face. Okay. This part is really important. This is prime real estate. I've made a couple of different choices than some people might hear, but at the end of the day, you can see my name up here is Raebecca.Miller. I'm a firm believer, and Angel and I both share this. We talked about it in my audit, that your name, like you are truly your brand, and what you sell is Zyia. This right here is a great place to add trending, whether it's like words, your niche, anything that's specific to you. I did repeat my name. I'm really working hard to sort of train my users to sort of think of me, like know my face really well, think of my name and begin to associate it with specific brands. So I didn't do anything fancy there. I just repeated my name. It could feel repetitious, but I also know that when you look at my picture, your eye naturally goes below my picture and not above. And so I'm sort of playing with that to see how much I can capture by sort of, again, training them to think of me as a brand specific person, and not necessarily just what I sell. Okay, two different shots. On the left side, you have your main profile view, your profile grid. On the right side, and you can do this to anybody, you could do this to me tonight, you can actually click that Reels button and you can see the views that any one person has for any of their Reels content. It's also how you check your Reels. And if you notice right here, that's where your Reels drafts live. So just FYI, a lot of information, but just navigating that. I gave a few more keywords. Keep your bio clear to your target audience. Think about your bio. Your bio should really only be 4 lines. only the top 4 lines show before the consumer actually has to click read more. So if there was anything below this "Dad culture is dead," you wouldn't see it without having to click more. I cannot tell you how many times I do not do that to somebody's profile, even if I find them interesting. So whatever you have hidden in that 5th line is something that nobody's really seeing. And I also talked about the ability to add a website to your Instagram. I use Linktree. It's really easy to use. It's free. Instagram gives everybody the ability to upload a website to their Instagram. I would absolutely take them up on it. I gave you a little bit of info about my Linktree. This is what you would see if you were to log into it. You can be more creative than me. You don't have to be more creative. But you could add things like your personal Zyia party link. You could add a bomber bra link. I actually have that. My favorite sports bra, the bomber bra, just links you directly to all of our bomber bras. You could do a light and tight link. My favorite leggings, it's just our classic high-waisted, like our light and tight leggings with the pockets. So that link goes directly just to that pair of leggings. You could link it to joggers, your favorite joggers. You could even link it to a rep kit. I don't know, and this is just personal opinion, so I'm going to share it. It's up to you how you want to manage it. But if you change out your link every month or every time you cash out a party, that is going to make something like a Linktree really challenging. I typically have 2 links open. I have one link that's open for all of 2022. It does take some time and some thought to manage it, but I dump those purchases each month out of it and put them into a separate link until I'm ready to cash it out. But what it means is there's always a live link. My customers are never having to go back and forth. I'm never having to update my Linktree. And in fact, in my stories and in my story highlights for the entire year, you could click a highlight from 32 weeks ago, and that link will still work because that link is going to be alive until December 31st. So it's just something I came up with on my own. I don't know that it's for everybody, but it has worked out really well. And then I'm not chasing my tail on some of these basics. And I use the same thing in my VIP group. Like I said, I have to put a reminder on my phone to manage that and move those orders and make sure I do it before the end of the month. But I'm pretty scheduled about stuff like that anyway. So I have not run into an issue with it. And if one order gets stuck, it's not the end of the world. So just sharing, sorry, personal opinion. Took me a little to figure that out though, because I was always like bouncing around and creating new links and driving myself half bonkers. Okay, so there's the Linktree. I can help you with that. If you guys want access to this whole PowerPoint, I can always email it to you. It literally is just like a Linktree quick app. Audio. Audio is like the number 1, maybe number 2 piece of Reels. There are 3 common ways to find and use audio on Instagram. The first, you can actually just choose any audio you want. Instagram has a music library available to everybody. Second, you can create your own. I have done that twice, both were fails. And third, you can choose a trending audio. I typically stick with the trending audio, but I'm going to show you how to use the other ones because, and I have some great examples of why you may run into this. The first one. So we're going to go into how to make a reel. You're going to go into your create button, hit reel. If you're not already using somebody else's, you'll just actually see a music note here, and then you'll be able to search for anything. And I used Kimberly as an example when we were going through my training class, but like she has Remy, she has this dog she loves. Let's say she can't find a trending audio, and I was joking around and I said, what if she wants to use like Who Let the Dogs Out? All she has to do is go to this library, that will be there, and she can upload it and use it however she wants to. She does not have to use a trending audio. Could be anything. Could be Florence and the Machine, whatever you're up to. I like it. My favorite way to do this is to actually scroll and hear an audio that I find like compelling. I'm showing you in here how to save it because it's really important. You can use anybody's audio that you want. You just have to save it. All you're going to do is click that little button at the bottom. If you see it turn black, it's in your saved. And remember, all you have to do is go back to your main profile screen. Up at the top, the 3 bars all the way to the right-hand side, that's where your saved is. You're going to click on the settings, drop in, and saved will be right there. And I'll show you that again. But just FYI, save everything that you find interesting. Even if it's just somebody talking about social selling or giving you a tip. I would not hesitate to save anything and everything. There's no reason not to. I actually do delegate time weekly to collecting audio. I watch content of similar creators or people I want to engage with, and I save a ton. I create a stockpile to pull ideas and inspiration from. Prior to when I really started to focus on Reels, I spent a lot of time scrolling. I spent a lot of mindless time scrolling. I'm actually really thoughtful now about making sure that instead of just like winging around and losing 2.5 hours of my life, I actually go to specific pages, or I look at people that I really enjoy, like how they engage with their audience. And I actually purposely take time to go through content that I might want to use versus just scrolling for the pure heck of it. One more time, I'm going to show you where that saved audio goes, because I've heard on more than a few occasions, I saved it. Where is it? And nothing is more frustrating than trying to understand where you need to go or where you need to navigate when you can't get there. So again, you're just going to go right to your settings. That saved button is going to look just like the black one that you sort of filled in when you clicked save. You'll see all of your posts and reels, and then your audio. You can save just the audio from a reel. I don't recommend it. I probably have 12 in there, and I probably have God knows how many thousands over here. These are much easier to use.
Can I say something too? You can create with that little plus collection. You can name them. So if you have stuff like people to reach out to, you can say potential reps or call it whatever. So that's another great way, that little plus sign, to create a folder and put them in the actual folders of the things you want to use them for.
Yeah, I love it. Perfect. I'm all about organization. I love that. My saved is not organized at all. It's chaos. Original audio. This is just an opinion. Take it or leave it. Original audio means it is 100% created by you. It does not have to be your voice. It can be your voice and music. It can be just music you choose or create, or it can just be your voice. I do find it works best for dietitians and MBA teams. So dietitians, a lot of times, I don't know if you follow any online, but they're always giving out really great advice. But their reels are more informative. That works great for them. They already have an audience built on people who are coming to them for very specific information. And then basically anything that an NFL team, an NBA team, even a celebrity touches, it sort of already has that following, so they can get away with that more. I have never had great luck with it, but that's not to say that you won't. I would say this: start out simple, use easy and relatable audio. Don't be afraid to mimic someone's verbiage or reel. It's okay. And when you can, choose trending audio. And I'm going to show you how to figure out if it's trending. A few things to remember. As a creator and a brand, it's important to show your personal face as often as possible. So that even goes back to why my name is twice on my profile. I want them to associate my name with myself, and I want them to look forward to continued content that I create. You yourself, you are a brand. So if you're using pictures of other people, or if it's always your kids and people don't even know what you look like, it's going to be really hard for you to have that brand recognition, because you yourself are the brand. Also, if you mimic someone else's real components, audio or verbiage, recreate it with your own self when you can, because again, that's what the viewer will identify with. And gospel, you are a brand. So you want your reels to create that identity for you. You want them to be looking for what you create. Okay. Now we're getting into the meat of it. Remember the saved audio from your profile? And then I gave you again how to get there. Okay, I picked this Sparkle Queen because I love her. And she actually used a Dolly Parton. And when I did this, I actually redid the Dolly Parton reel. So this here, all the way to the left, is all of my saved reels. All you're going to do is click on one of them. You can see it's going to pull her right up. You can see where I had already saved it. Click on her image, listen once. If you listen again, it's going to say watch again. And this little TV down here is going to show up. As soon as that happens, you're going to click that. And it's actually going to give you all of this information right here. This is the audio. And it is everybody who has used that audio previously. See right here where it says use audio? That's what you're going to do. But first, there's really, really, really important information in this. This piece contains inspiration, information, and it's the gateway to creating a reel. This right here, see this little arrow going up with 1,003 reels? That means this audio is trending and it's actually increasing in popularity. If you can get an audio 5,000 or less and use it, you have a greater chance of Instagram putting you in front of a wider audience to see if your audio can compete with these creators. If you give it 3 to 5 days, there's a really good chance that it will become saturated and your audio will not have the same impact. This may or may not matter to you. I just wanted to give you the information. That right there is a really good sign. Only 1,000 people have used it and it's trending upwards. Also, this person right here, this is the original creator. So I love that. You can actually go right to hers, see how she intended to use it right off the bat. She, of course, is typically going to have the most views, right? So she had 291,000. The other thing that's really, really cool about this, if you click on any of these and you start to scroll, you will be only inside of that audio. So you can actually flick through and find how a mom used it, how a social seller used it, how a fitness queen used it, how a dietitian used it, and you can get really, really, really good ideas without working hard or having to be overly creative. You can flick and flick and flick. You find an audio that resonates with you, and you will find somebody who used it in a way that impacted their audience, and you can do it too. It's fine. You do not have to overthink this stuff. People make it way too complicated. Just trust the queens. That's what I do. Okay, I'm going back to share. I just like to see your faces. Sorry. Okay. I love this part. Sometimes I just spend like 10 minutes in this. Time to use it. Here we go. You wanted to start creating, you saved a great audio, your hair is blowing up, your eyelashes are on. Now what? I was just being funny too, by the way. Sometimes I look like I'm a homeless person in my reels. I do not care. But really interesting, talking through this really quick. Look at the space you're using. Look at the outfit you're wearing. Look at the activity level around you. If you have kids at home and you didn't intend for them to be in the reel, maybe don't do that an hour after they wake up. There's going to be no way for you to control that. The outfit you're wearing, we sell Zyia. I don't talk about Zyia in every reel because a lot of times those actually get lesser views, and I'll talk about why that matters at the end. But I almost always, 98% of the time, I'm wearing Zyia because I can actually take my reel, I can post it to my stories, and I can link you to my shirt. I can link you to my shorts. I can link you to my sports bra. If somebody has a question about what I'm wearing, I can send them a private link. It's a really easy way to gain trust as far as you being their stylist. So just pay attention to the outfit you're wearing, the space you're using. Check and double check your background. And I'll tell you more about why in a minute. And then one more thing, and this is a really important trick. If your reel has voice audio and you are trying to match it, listen on repeat and practice and talk out loud. When I do my reels, I actually say what they're saying. If I'm doing the Dolly Parton, I'm probably adding a really silly accent, but you will have so much more success matching their voice and their voiceover if you're actually speaking out loud. And then one more tip, if you can, find somewhere where you can prop your phone up so you're not having to hold on to it, because anything that's a little bit grainy or a little bit blurry or a little bit chaotic, Instagram again is going to decide to give it a little bit less views. Check your background one more time. The puppy is cute. She wasn't probably expecting him back here. Love it. This guy's fit into his health. That's his grandma. You just got to check your background. You never know what's happening behind you, around you, if you don't double check. This girl, cute selfie, totally on the toilet. So if you aren't paying attention to it, and when I Googled some images, these were the actual like most appropriate ones. People had tons of scary stuff in their backgrounds. Just double check your background. Now we've already clicked use audio. I want to walk you through just the information about what you're going to see. Right here, so here where you see the music bar, you would actually see that little TV screen again if you were using her audio. There's a grid here. Some people use that to do side by side. There was just last week a really trending audio. What's her name? The girl that sings I'm Unstoppable. And everybody was doing her singing next to them doing something amazing, whether it was like push-ups or chin-ups or going on a really fast run or something. They were really inspiring, all of them. They did that with a grid view. Here is your own photo and video library. That's really great if you pre-recorded content, whether it's your kids playing on swings or your dog going for a walk or just a great time you were having and then you wanted to use that later for a reel. This will take you to your entire library. This is your camera flip, so you can turn it towards yourself, show your face. All of your filters are in here. I don't use any filters. That's a personal preference. I'm just funny about that. And here's your timer. I use the timer, and it's going to look like this for every single reel that I make. How are we feeling? Good? No questions? Okay, cool. I love it. Just had to check. There's a lot of information there. Okay. Sorry. All right. Meat and potatoes. Here's why I use the timer. When you click timer, it's going to count down 3, 2, 1. You actually almost need to start speaking just a tiny bit before the audio itself starts because Instagram starts it early. But the timer will also actually repeat the audio that you're about to play. So you get one more time to practice it out loud. I love the timer. All you're going to do is click the blue button, set timer, and then you're ready to go. Okay, I just took whatever photo I needed so that this would be like fun and lighthearted. So you're going to see some weird faces here, but I also just stopped them in the middle of my reel. So go with it. Once you've set the timer, this is your record button. Once you're ready, you're going to hit record. It's going to count down 3, 2, 1, and then you're going to go for it. Once that's done, and these two things are really important, you have the option here to save the video to your camera roll. I don't do this, but I don't batch my reels a lot, so it doesn't matter much to me. The audio is not going to save, but if you were worried you were going to lose the video, you could save it to your camera roll using this. I always hit next, no matter how bad it is, and then I hit save to drafts. The next button is going to take you right here. You're going to save every single thing that you create. Even if you try it 16 times, just hit save drafts. There's no harm in having 16 drafts there. If you want to go back and check it out, you're going to hit the edit button here. Time to edit. This is my absolute favorite Instagram hack. Before you delete anything, let's say your lips are a little bit off from the audio. Let's say the audio is actually really hard to learn, so you decided to sort of speak it after. You can actually catch up your mouth to their audio by just doing this. You're going to hit the edit button right here. So you're going to see this little screen below your screen. See that teeny tiny gap? That is not even like a 0.8 second. But by just moving that bar, just the tiniest bit, I'm actually able to rewatch it and catch my mouth up to the audio. That's super, super, super important. Because one of the things Instagram also looks at when they promote you in front of other people is how much your lip syncing matches the audio that you use. Everybody else is using this hack so that it can get it dead on. You could actually be 2 seconds behind and repeating something after the other person says it because it's too hard to remember, and you can make a massive gap there and actually catch it completely up. Does that make sense? It's the best part. You can really mess it up and go in and just check it out and you're like, we got this. It's a go, folks. Finding that was like the icing on the cake for me, because catching myself doing it exactly to the audio is almost literally impossible. And I probably make that big of a gap on every single reel I do, because just moving it the tiniest bit gets it dead on, and it makes such a big impact. And then I talked about it one more time, but move the start of your reel manually from here. Even if the timing seems perfect, you'll be surprised how much this improves your lip sync to the audio. All right. This is what I meant by the faces. Sorry, it is what it is. Time to add text. No different than when you're in stories. All you're going to do is hit that text bar right here. It's going to drop in. I said make it short and sweet and relevant. You can move it around the screen however you want, wherever you want. Instagram, when you move text, is going to give you some guidelines. You'll see some blue lines pop up. What that means is when a user is scrolling, they actually see a little bit less of your reel than they do if they were to click on it. So those blue lines are important. You want to keep your text inside of those blue lines because it ensures that even if somebody's scrolling by, they'll be able to fully read your text and fully read your message. And then I showed you a little bit about how to drop in verbiage where you want to. You can choose just at the bottom with this little start part and this little stop part when your text drops in and when it leaves. The easiest thing to do, especially for your first couple, is just keep a text there the entire time. This is not, like I said, make it short, sweet, and relevant. This is not the majority of your content. It is the point. It's the action statement. It's whatever you needed them to know. You actually have a caption later that you can use to give the rest of the content. And then I gave you two 201s. So there is science right now behind, it's called the text color theory in Reels. You can choose somewhat how you have an emotional impact on a user by choosing text that reflects that. So black means formal, secure, serious. White, pure, honest, clean. Red means stop, pay attention, passion. Orange means confidence and success. Yellow, energy and excitement. Green, action, quality, fresh. If you're giving them something like a call to action, green is a great choice for a call to action. Blue, trust, peace, confidence. A big part of why Reels matter is because they are actually a trust building campaign with a potential consumer. So the more they see you, the more they see you in your routine, the more they relate to you, the more they are likely to buy from you, even though they don't know you. It's a trust building campaign. That's why it's so important, because people aren't face to face in the unique way that they used to be pre-COVID. And then purple, luxury or ambition. One important note, your color in contrast to your background matters more than these theories. If you want to use blue and you are wearing a blue shirt and your background is blue and no one is going to be able to read the writing, it has no value. You are much better off using a color where people can read it very quickly. And then one more, there is also a theory right now that left aligned text, and that's why I showed you this first group of message is left aligned, and then this one is centered. Left aligned text is actually easiest read by the brain. It's read the fastest, and it makes it more easily engaged. There's a typo there. It's annoying. Makes it more easily engaging and absorbed by your audience. Centered text takes a little bit more skill, actually, and focus to quickly read and react to. And if you look at these two texts side by side, I think the theory makes a lot of sense. So just FYI, it's Instagram Reels 201, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Do you guys have any questions? Are you ready to kill me yet? Or is everyone just gonna make a million reels? Okay, Kimberly, yes.
Yeah, I have a quick question. I know with stories, they want you to have it so people will stop and watch your story. You get more credit for that, and if they have to go back. So do Reels do the same thing?
There is a threshold where if people, like if you stop, I want to say it's like, I don't know the exact time. There's a threshold where it counts as a view and where it doesn't count as a view. So even if they only stop for a moment and they flick through, you may not get that viewership. But I don't think you have to watch the entire reel to count as a viewer.
Okay, because I was thinking if it's center aligned, then they have more trouble, so they're going to pause it.
Yeah, but the reels don't pause.
I know,
Like
but on stories.
Yes, well, and at least the stories do pause. I mean, I think here's the thing about Instagram, and this is what makes some creators crazy. They're always changing things. I think there's sort of this, like, people wish they would actually update some of the glitches that don't work previously instead of always adding new features, but they're always adding new features. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's more to come. I use center aligned a lot because I prefer it, but when I look at that PowerPoint, I'm always like, oh, left aligned is truly so much easier to read and so much faster. And I always think the science behind some of this nonsense is really cool. I'm that person though. Is anyone else? Okay, keep going. Okay, now we're in it. Save every draft. if you sign out of Instagram, if you fully sign out, like log off, you will lose all of your drafts. This may or may not matter to you. I really only have like 3 usable drafts in there. You can see by this picture that there's like 4 drafts right here of the same exact reel. The only one I'm holding on to is this one right here. And it was because I randomly was like stacking water bottles in the garage one day, and I decided to do a hurricane prep one because we live in Charleston, and it's the like, here we go, we go. And like, and then I wrote something about Jim Cantor, but I haven't been able to use it yet. So it doesn't have a whole lot of value. It's just sitting there ready to like, I don't know. Okay, captions. Here is where you're gonna put the majority of your content. So again, inside of the reel, you're gonna make it short and sweet. Captions, this is where it matters. I try very hard to lead with a statement that will engage, because when people are scrolling through, and you guys know this from your own use, you're gonna see like one line of what that person intended to mean by what they wrote inside of that reel. So you have to be really thoughtful about that. Cover options. There's 2 ways to make a cover. This is the easiest one. Click edit cover. It's going to bring you back to the reel, and you can actually slide this bar until you get the most charming view of your face and hit done up here, and it will save that as your cover. Really easy. However, any text that you have in that portion of the reel will be saved and shown on that cover. This is the one I most commonly do. I'll save the reel, save it to drafts. I'll quick jump over to stories. You can actually hit add to your stories, click your camera. I would choose to take a picture of myself. So this would actually be flipped towards me, but I purposely chose this area of my house so I could show you this sidebar really clearly. Flip the camera towards yourself, take a quick selfie, add some text.
I can't hear you.
What happened?
I don't know.
Are you back?
Now we can
Now
hear
you're
you,
back.
Raebecca.
I thought it was me.
Nope. Did you see where I use stories to basically take a selfie and put writing over it? Okay, so you aren't going to share that in stories. You're just going to use that as a tool. So you're going to take a selfie, write a hook, save it to your camera roll, and then you can actually re-upload it. I did a reel, I don't know, earlier this summer, and I just said #1 gym secret because I knew it would make people click on it. It's clickbait, right? It's actually like me post-workout drying my hair. I said that all of us girls blow dry the sweat back into our hair and keep going. And like people loved it. They thought it was hysterical because it was like super honest. I think people were clicking on it because they thought it was going to be like, I only eat watermelon on Tuesdays, or like I only do biceps in the morning or something stupid. And it was me blow drying the sweat back into my hair. Not glamorous at all. People loved it though. I got so many comments. People were like, yes, tell them. I'm like, listen, dudes, if you guys think we're really blowing this thing out every time, you're out of your minds. Not happening. But you just have to have some kind of fun hook. It could be like something no one knows about me, or like secret this Tuesday, or whatever. In order to upload that, you're going to hit edit cover again and just add from your camera roll and hit done. Really simple. If you are ready to share, which means you've added a cover, you've added a caption, you have gone to edit and watched the whole thing play, you can go ahead and click share. However, once you click share, you lose your draft. You will never be able to go back to that video. So unless you are 100% sure that you're ready to share, because if you have a huge typo in it and you end up wanting to delete it, you can delete it, but there will not be any trace left in your Instagram drafts. Once you share it, it's gone out of drafts. So just an FYI, because that can be really frustrating if it's never happened to you before. You would almost assume that there would be a draft left behind, but there's not. Okay, now what? And I said, time to do another one. Yay. A lot of us, you'll go in, you'll check to see if people are viewing your reels. It's always good to look at what makes people kind of tick or come to you. But I will tell you this, Instagram goes back and forth. Sometimes you just can't catch a break, and sometimes you catch the most ridiculous break. It doesn't even, I can't say it all makes sense. The basics of that are impressions, which just means how many times your content is displayed to users. I ranked these because this is really important, and I'm going to ask a favor of all of you guys for everybody. Likes are now ranked the least effective in engagement. Comments are weighed significantly more heavy in the Instagram algorithm. So you can have 22 likes, but having 6 comments matters more. If the only thing you can give to one of your fellow Zyia girls as far as like time is just a quick like, go ahead and do it. But it takes 2 seconds to give them a true comment. Shares, whether it's you sharing it to your stories or somebody else sharing your video to their stories, posts, or even like through DM. You know, how many times have you shared a meme with a friend or shared a reel with a friend that like made you think of them? Those matter more than anything. Instagram pays attention to all of these things and automatically will allow you to engage with a bigger audience. So the more people share, the wider Instagram lets your audience be, the more people comment, the wider Instagram lets your audience be. They almost kind of release your video and they get to decide who gets to see it and how many people get to see it. And once you build trust with them, they give you more. So the order above is priority to you as a creator. You're looking for shares. Here's something that I think is really important. The golden rule of engagement. If you want shares and comments and likes, you need to be sharing and commenting. People will pay attention to this. It's actually one of the best ways to get new clients also. So I posted something right before we all jumped on, and I talked about, I just dropped my Instagram handle in there and I asked you guys to do the same so I can follow each of you. But I'm already doing this with Kimberly and Robin and Kirsten and Angel and Stephanie. I take probably 10 minutes, not much, every day. And anytime somebody creates a reel, I make sure to add a comment. And then you as the creator need to do your due diligence and comment back. Instagram is paying attention to how engaged you are with your audience. You can completely fake that by having a circle around you who's going to do the same. It is not a big deal. There's a lot of people doing it. I actually caught my eyebrow studio doing it, and then I was like, wait a minute, hold on, what is going on here? Because I realized it was every single stylist that has a chair, and I was like, hold up, why aren't we doing this? We can actually be supporting each other in a really big way. It's so simple, but I'm going to call it the golden rule of engagement. Here's the other tip to that. For me, I follow a couple of like Mount Pleasant Fit Moms clubs. I comment on their reels at least twice a week, because then their audience is going through and sees my comments. And the more I engage with Instagram, have you ever clicked on a reel and you can see only one person's comment or only 2 people's comments, and you get curious about that person and click on that person? The more you engage as a creator, the more they're likely to use your comment in front of somebody else. And then that is how you open up your audience. Also, those people are active. We sell activewear. So I spend on average 1 to 1.5 hours a week engaging in platforms where people are doing something where I can fit a need that they might have. Whether it's like looking great, or a workout girl who's like always posting amazing things and like, oh, this is so helpful, I'm saving this. You can be super authentic. You don't have to say, hey, I sell clothes, but they will give you, more people will come to your page based on how you engage with other people. That was one of my favorite tips from the beginning of the summer, and it makes a huge difference. Again, you could be sitting there just scrolling through and enjoying, you know, babies washing monkeys or whatever. There's all kinds of crazy stuff on Instagram, or you could just be using that time to grow your business. This is one of the easiest, fastest ways to do it. So the golden rule. And then a few more pointers. Your niche, again, is not what you sell. Your everyday is content. Take photos, take videos all the time. Making coffee, got a favorite K-cup? I dig it. If you have a dog, you take your dog for a walk every lunch, do it. If you work out all the time, whether it's a picture of your outfit. I mean, today I was a mess. I took a picture of all my sweat from my early morning workout. But all of those things are going to help people relate to you. They're going to make people keep coming back. It's actually going to motivate people, and it is ultimately going to build trust. That even though your everyday seems boring, everybody is actually in the same exact routine, and it creates this really universal commonality. Don't be afraid to share those things. Don't just share the clothes that you sell. Choose a pattern you can keep consistent. If you can only share one story a day consistently, then do that. If you can only do 3 reels a week, then do that. Consistency really matters on Instagram. And then again, the golden rule of engagement. One last, educational content or sales content should be 50% or less of the content you create. Creating sales content and nothing else leaves consumers with information overload. The fastest way to grow your audience is to provide them with 50% or more of you. Instagram is actually truly a sales tool. More than any of the other social media platforms, it's a sales tool. But trust must be built. Think connection, relatability, empathy, your thoughts, your dreams, your opinions. You could talk about a vacation in a year in planning, whether every once in a while you talk about how Zyia is helping you fund that, great. If you're always in Zyia when you're in your stories, great. You don't have to link the clothes every day, but try to put a certain amount of human connection into your reels and into your stories. Don't make it just sales. You'll never have that impact with your audience. If you go through my reels tonight and you look at my views and you look at which ones are sales-based and which ones are just relatable, there's a very clear difference in how many views they get. It's still important to me to have those sales reels because those people will eventually see it, or they might scroll through and see it, or whatever. It's a part of what I'm trying to achieve on Instagram anyways. But I keep it to about 30%. And then the rest is truly all about who I am as a person and how I spend my daily life. And these are 3 really quick slides. These are a few of my favorite teams. These are people I would recommend following. These 2. This girl sells Zyia. She's awesome. Hannah Roberts sells Beachbody. Don't buy Beachbody, or do whatever you want. I don't really care. I'm not going to give you advice like that. Hannah Roberts she actually lives here on IOP. We talk a lot. She does an amazing job making sure that her stories every day are completely real. She got locked out of her van the other day. She had an accident with her puppy. She has 2 kids. Life is chaotic. Her hair always looks insane. She's always showing her workouts, but she talks consistently about, whether it's wanting to have wine with friends, but trying to stay on her meal plan or whatever. She is always posting every little thing. It's very, it's a great, I would give her 30 days to follow just so you can see how she does a great job balancing both. And then Zyia Fit with Britt, she will give you great ideas on how to sell her clothes on Instagram and even talk about building a team. She's just a great resource. You can also share her stuff to your stories. I'm pretty sure she probably loves that, because if you share her to your stories, then she'll still get the views increase and the visibility. But at the end of the day, you'll also be building trust that more people use Zyia, wear Zyia, work out in Zyia. These 2 are my favorite Reels coaching tips. So this Brock Johnson is my number 1. I love him. He gives you amazing tips on Instagram. He tells you every time Instagram makes an update, he'll tell you how to actually navigate it. He's the first person I heard the color theory from. He's awesome. And then these 2 are social marketing gurus. So you have Social Marketing Queen, and then you have No Shame Sales Game. Social Marketing Queen will tell you what audio is trending and 65 great ways to use each of them. No Shame Sales Game actually will give you great advice on how to talk about your social selling platform without coming across pyramid schemey, cringy, whatever. She's amazing about kind of like joking about how we used to sort of just drop into like somebody from our high school's like inbox, even though we haven't talked to them in 20 years. And oh my gosh, they dismissed me and it's so hard to like grow this business. But that's not necessarily the right way to do it. And then on top of telling you how she wouldn't do it, she gives you a ton of tips about how to do it and do it well. And she keeps it really relatable. I love listening to her. She keeps it simple. She keeps it funny. And every once in a while, she the other day, she has a personal Instagram and she uploaded a video that she intended for her personal Instagram. And she checked it like 6 hours later and nobody had commented on it. And sure enough, it was like, I'm going to say it was like Hunky Firefighter or something. And she was like making a joke, but she uploaded it to her actual like no shame sales game. And she was dying of embarrassment and she went live and talked about it. And it was pretty much epic. So nobody's perfect. You don't have to be perfect. It happens, man. Just check your background. What questions do you have?
Stephanie, you had a question. You can ask yours.
Well, so I was wondering if you got a new phone, does that log you out of Instagram and then you lose your drafts?
I don't know. I mean, I got a new phone about a year ago, but I wasn't necessarily doing reels.
Okay.
I don't know.
I was just curious because I plan to get one at some point, but I don't have any drafts, so no worries right now.
Well, you should have some drafts. You should have some just terrible ones. I've got some really wild ones where I'm just no.
Kirsten, just step for a second over here. Sorry. I'm on my phone, so I like can't see everyone's faces. It's like very weird for me. But Stephanie, I will check because I just got my work computer re-imaged, which is like in essence getting a new phone. And I'm gonna look tomorrow and I'll shoot you a message and let you know if like it undoes any of the drafts that I have saved or not.
Okay.
Sound good?
Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tomorrow.
Thank you.
I will say this. I'm very committed to making sure that I go on each of your reels, comment, engage with it. It's fun for me. There's nothing you can do except rip the Band-Aid off. Your first reel may not be amazing. To be honest with you, my reel that has the most views is of an apple. And so that is just bizarre. So the Instagram is a weird place. I mean, it's to that Send Me On My Way song, and it's me pulling it back out of my lunch bag. And I say like, took my half wanted daily trip out of the house and I put it back in my fridge, and 102,000 people thought that was hysterical because apparently they are also taking their apple on a trip to work and back and not eating it.
I do that with lots of things. Like, yeah, it's usually less healthy options.
People were like, it's a banana, except bananas are the worst emotional support fruit. I mean, there was so many comments. I went to the bus stop and came back. I was like, oh no, we've taken a hard left. But I mean, I had one this weekend about, my husband having to kill a spider. And apparently that really resonated with a lot of people. 17,000 people felt the same exact way. Then I could put a Zyia one up next and 500 people will see it. That's fine, man. It's like that. Do not take it personally. You did not make a mistake. It's just the way the game is played. One other tip I have. When you create, you can think about sharing during specific time windows. So if you're trying to impact somebody like yourself, and you're always up early and you're always behind your coffee and you're looking on Instagram, maybe that's a great time to share, or right before bedtime or right after your kids' bedtimes. I would not share your reel to your story immediately after creating it. You can actually hit a second window if you hold on to that reel and just keep it in your feed and then share it to your story like 6 to 7 hours later during the next big window. So like there's big windows early in the morning, around 1 to 3, there's usually a lot of activity on Instagram. And then again, around like 6:30 to 9:30, there's a ton of activity. So if you posted a reel right after lunch when everyone's just chilling and messing around and doesn't want to work, wait to share that to your stories until 7:30 p.m. and you'll actually get a second round of viewership. That's my
Do you notice like certain days of the week that are better than others? As far as
it used to be more clear. Now it's like a little bit less clear. Like I think in the summer, like you couldn't get a lot of action on like a Friday or Saturday night. going into fall, I bet we'll go back to like Friday or Saturday because it gets darker. People are behind their computers more. In the summer, they're out doing barbecues and stuff like that. In the spring, I could get a lot on Friday and Saturday night. Not so much on Saturday morning. There's a lot of people out doing sports, but I don't get too hung up on it either. Pretty much the minute I'm ready to release it, I just release it. I'm not great about that.
I'm from upstate New York, and pretty much anytime there's a football game, post. Like, look and see, like, cause you know, like, yes, people are watching, but the chicks are like scrolling through, the dudes are scrolling through. Like, it's like the time to post. So like football game, like any other big sporting events in the town that you live in, like post in that moment, because you know, like people be scrolling and you're like, all right, that's when they're going to be like open to new
sitting down and chilling out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, well, you guys can ask me anything, like drop into my DMs or shoot me a text or whatever. If you get into the middle of it and you can't figure out where to go next or how to get out, just let me know. I'm like happy to help. We have like a little mini Reels chat from the first one I did. And I mean, listen, your secret's safe with me. It's going to be all right. You got this.
Oh, this has been so great. Thank you so much. I loved it. Great job. You did great on your technology skills, all the things. So good, awesome stuff. I learned a bunch, and I really am excited to see so many of you guys starting to do this more and more. And just like Raebecca said, doing it, getting more comfortable, you will find your groove, but it's for sure the trend and something you all should start considering doing, and you'll get better at. So but I love seeing you guys. Hi, Sloan. I messaged her today. I'm like, I haven't seen you in so long, and here we are. I'm so excited. And Kristen and Bridget, like, I haven't seen y'all in forever. So good to see y'all tonight. And I will send a reminder out about our next call in October. I hope all of you watch Summit and get a lot out of that. I'm really pumped about anything they do announce, and we'll of course be sharing throughout the weekend. So in 2 weeks. So, but you guys have a great night. Thank you so much for staying with us for this great training. Raebecca, great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I mean, it was a little longer than I intended, but I appreciate you guys.
Well worth it. Well worth it. Awesome, guys. Y'all take care. We'll see y'all soon.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks.